We looked at dealing with the situation where your opponent stands up. Okay, so when Carl makes his grips, he goes to stand up. We looked at, I had that cross collar grip. Okay? And because he was bent over, this allowed me to climb with my legs into the top lock. And then we showed you how to hit the armbar from there. You could also hit the triangle or omoplata. So the rule we want to be thinking about is if they stand up inside your closed guard and you've been bent over, in other words their head is lower than the hips, it's going to be top lock and you're going to be attacking with submissions. But let's look at the scenario where you were late and they have vertical posture. Okay, so Carl makes his grips. If he stands up and he's going for this pulling to the hip move, which is very common, in the process of Carl standing up, I will make the cross grip. Okay, so my right hand's going to grab his right sleeve. When he stands up, I have two options from here. Well, I have two sweeps that I'm going to do. I'm either going to go for the waiter sweep, which we sort of addressed earlier in the mesocycle, or the handstand sweep. So we want to be thinking of a scenario of if he's vertical posture, I'm sweeping him backwards. So my free left hand is going to go elbow deep around Carl's right ankle, and I'm going to pull my ear towards him. Now I'm going to lift my hips up, and then I turn them to my left, which in turn turns Carl's right knee out. As he falls out of my legs, there was competition because I'm going to save the drilling partner here. So from this position, Carl can't come up because I've got this sleeve grip. Right? It would become more of a scramble if I didn't have this. Now Carl can post his hand, and it just becomes a battle. Okay. We all know Carl's drilling leg locks now, some days. So, again, shameless plug, Carl, you devil. Right, from here, I make the underhook. See when I'm bringing my head towards his right foot. And then I lift my hips. So there's two things I'm doing, two directions. I lift my hips up, and then I physically turn my hips to the left, which in turn flares Carl's knee out. For the sake of your life, well over my legs. Okay. Once I get to this position, my hips are on top of his. It's hard for Carl to come up because I have this cross grip. So now I can just post my hand on the mat, pull this up, set in that space, and then move out. So again, this is the grips that Carl's making are very common. He'll have a primary arm and a secondary arm. And again, he'd be looking to stuff this so I can't underhook it. But in the process of him doing that, I get the cross grip. I immediately underhook this leg. Okay. Now he's vertical posture. I lift my hips up and then I turn my knee and kick him over. Keep this grip. This is everything. Okay. And now from there, it's all about me. My hips are on top of his. Pulling this up and fill that space. Let's look at how to close that down. Some of these guys know how to do that. Don't want you getting bored. So from here, I make my grips. I find this in the process of me standing up. Carl makes the cross grip. From a guard perspective, I wouldn't stand up if he had that. I'd be breaking that. Sorry, I'm going to be standing up. But let's just say from here, Carl makes that cross grip. Okay. As I stand up, Carl underhooks that leg. First thing I'm thinking about is breaking this grip. So from there, I have a 4 fingers inside grip. I just let go my little finger towards his little finger, and then a push pull. Okay, that's what I want there. A lot of the time from here, Carl will switch to the handstand variation of the sweep, which is the next move, and we'll look at the counter on that as well. So let's just say I stand up, I didn't get the grip broke, and Carl physically takes me down from the waiter sweep. My goal is, I make sure that I fall to an elbow. Right? If Carl takes me down and I fall to the shoulder, he's on top. And I've lost it. So I want to make sure that when I'm swept, I don't fall to the shoulder, I fall to an elbow, and then I build the base to the hand. It's all about the person's head who is the highest is going to come up on top first. So the best way to close that down is from here, when I stand up, He goes for the waiter sweep. As he takes me down, he drops to an elbow. Okay? Now the worst thing I can do from here is trying to stop Carl from coming up by trying to push him back. Because there's an arm bar there, and I don't want to do that. So if we're aware of the arm bar and the possible triangle counter there, we want to keep our grip shallow. So from here, when I stand up, Carl goes for the waiter sweep, takes me down. I'm landing to an elbow, not a shoulder. I'm not pushing on his chest because there's an arm bar there. I just grab his belt and keep that grip tight. So Carl tries to hit an arm bar from there, and even a triangle from there. I'm on top. That makes sense to you, like I said. So from there, when I'm on an elbow, our heads are about similar height. I'm going to build the base from my hand. Now my head is higher than Carl's, unless he's taller than me. So I plant my foot on the mat, and now I just do tightening and stand up. And I'm going to end up inside this guard. And we all know how to do that. One more time. Let's look at the sweep. The sweep's the main thing you want to be thinking about. If you haven't done the sweep before, concentrate on that. If you have, you can add in how to close it down. So Carl's coming up. I'm making the cross grip. That's the first thing. I underhook the leg, elbow deep. I move my head towards the foot, two directions. I lift my hips up, and then I turn them out to flourish, and I need to take them down. Okay, so if I want to come up, I'm making sure I hold on to this, because if I let go, he can build the base and come up. If he makes the mistake of when I come up and he pushes on my chest, I can physically grab the sleeve. My knee comes over. The variation I like is I don't go belly down, I just fall onto myself. I have Carl decides to roll. I still have it. Okay. Again. So from Carl's perspective, he wants to keep it very shallow, not reaching out, just possibly grabbing the bell. So when Carl goes to stand up again, hit that waiter sweep, I'm taking him down. I'm holding on to this so he can't come up. Okay. If he's pushing on my hip here, there's no arm bar. Okay. So now from Carl's perspective, he wants to come up to the hand, and then he's going to be passing. Okay. So let's play with that game.